on the fallen state.
You were a Christian and a social justice warrior?
I was. Eventually, I understood that this is not the way.
They used the word racism in order to cover up the hatred of their hearts.
Racism, because it's an attitude of the heart, can be found in any community.
Have you noticed that when women take over, everything go to hell in a handbasket?
No.
You're going down the wrong path.
No. Hold on. Don't know me. Satan is the God of woman?
Yes.
That is, I would venture to almost say heretical.
These are fun questions.
Fun for who? This has been very interesting. Yes. Someone reached out to our ministry to be able to interview me on race, justice, and unity. The questions went so far off base, I actually had to stop the interview. It came down to questions like, what's wrong with Black people? And I said, well, what do you mean by that? Or not even a question, but a comment like, well, Black children are wicked. What do you mean by that? Or the idea that women need to be led by men. And so I would ask for clarity on some of these things. And we eventually just got to what I felt like was an impasse. It was such a rough interview because there was a point where I had to say, Mr. Peterson, you brought me on here to talk about race, justice, and unity. And yet it seems like you're talking about anything and everything but race, justice, and unity. So who is Jesse Lee Peterson? He was on the Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom 2 documentary. If you haven't seen that, I would say go watch it. It is a really good documentary. Both of them are really good. Should I have stop the interview? Should I have just said, I'm out and things like that? But the interview is going to drop. Tuesday was a mess. Tuesday, I was beating myself up. Like I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently. I tried to be as gracious as possible. So the Lord's really been dealing with me on, the verse in Colossians 4. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Well, y'all, honey, I'm more like garlic salt. I'm more like Lowry's. I am probably some Old Bay. Like I am not just pure salt. And so I was really trying to be gracious in this interview and not just allow my salt to come out and sting in the wound. And so I allowed the interview to keep going. And it came down to things like, well, the God of the woman is Satan. That was part of it. But more than anything, what struck me was his attitude toward Blacks. He asked me about my thoughts on the civil rights era, desegregation and things like that. And so he completely felt that desegregation was wrong, that we should have never attempted it and things like that. And I've heard that argument before. I'm hesitant to even call him a racist. I think in my opinion, I am questioning how he participates in partiality with Blacks and whites. But pray for me because that interview is going to drop and I'm like, just definitely like wondering, did I represent well? Even in my pushback, even in my strong conversations, y'all know me. Like I try to let my words be seasoned with salt, but y'all, I am like some garlic salt. I ain't gonna lie. I am a good dose of Lowry's.